If you are fascinated by the raw human ingenuity that emerges under extreme conditions, then stay with me and make sure to subscribe to the channel. Today we are diving deep into a chapter of history where survival wasn't just about food or shelter. It was about cunning, resourcefulness, and a network of silent barter inside some of the most restrictive environments imaginable, World War II prisoner-of-war camps. By the end of this, you'll not only understand the extraordinary strategies POWs used, but also how these principles can inspire modern-day preparedness and resourcefulness. The art of bartering became survival currency. For many Allied prisoners held in German or Japanese camps, official rations were meagre at best. This scarcity forced prisoners to develop an unofficial economy, where anything from cigarette stubs to pen ink became valuable commodities. One of the most fascinating aspects is how prisoners assessed value. Cigarettes, for example, weren't just for smoking. They were a universal currency. A single cigarette could secure extra bread, a minor favour, or even access to a hidden resource like vegetables smuggled from outside the camp. The practical takeaway is simple. Survival isn't just about stockpiling, it's about recognizing what is valuable in your environment. For instance, in a modern urban survival situation, small items like batteries, water purification tablets, or even spare charging cables can serve as a bartering currency. Observing what others need and positioning yourself as a supplier transforms limited resources into leverage, much like the POWs learned through necessity. POWs were master craftsmen of improvisation. With limited tools, everyday objects were repurposed for critical needs. Tin cans were transformed into stoves. Mattress springs became fishing hooks. Even pens were disassembled to create improvised lockpicks or writing implements. The ingenuity wasn't just about survival. It was about reclaiming agency in an environment designed to strip it away. If we translate this into practical modern steps, it's about thinking of objects in multiple dimensions. A simple empty container could store water or, catch rain. String from clothing repairs can become cordage for traps or securing gear. Identifying dual-purpose uses for everyday items, well, it increases resilience when standard resources are unavailable. The POWs turn necessity into creativity. You can turn preparation into empowerment. Beyond individual resourcefulness, POWs thrived through cooperative networks. Information and goods moved discreetly through these networks, often in coded ways to avoid guard detection. This wasn't just smuggling. It was logistics, management, and negotiation under pressure. Prisoners developed rotation systems to distribute food, shared medical supplies, and coordinated clandestine trades to maximize survival chances. For survivalists today, the lesson is the importance of building reliable networks. Whether it's a local community, a family survival plan, or an online preparedness forum, sharing knowledge and resources creates a multiplier effect. Step 1 is identifying who you can trust. Step 2 is establishing clear agreements about sharing, just as POWs did with bartering systems that were enforced socially rather than formally. Now, one overlooked aspect of POW ingenuity is really the psychological component. Continually assessing resources, predicting shortages, and innovating under pressure, well, that strengthened mental resilience. prisoners learned to anticipate scarcity and develop contingencies, whether by rationing food more cleverly or preserving limited medical supplies for those truly critical moments. This mental adaptation, honestly, was as vital as physical survival. Applying this today means adopting the mindset of anticipation and improvisation. If you're planning for emergencies or, say, long-term self-reliance, practice inventory rotation, scenario planning, and resource repurposing. For example, regularly re-evaluate stored food to ensure maximum utility, or practice turning a single source of water into, well, multiple hydration strategies. POWs constantly observed guard patterns, supply routines, and camp dynamics to find opportunities. Sometimes a simple glance at how food was delivered or who had excess items allowed a prisoner to secure additional resources without confrontation. This teaches us that survival isn't only about the tangible, it's about perception, timing, and the ability to read the environment. In practice, whether you're urban prepping or wilderness survival, careful observation can create leverage. Noticing trends in community resource use, identifying potential sources of surplus, or learning to time actions strategically can dramatically enhance your effectiveness without increasing risk. What stands out most in POW histories is how these individual acts of ingenuity had broader effects. One prisoner's creative stove might feed several others. One network's trade could stabilize morale across the camp. Ingenuity was contagious, creating a culture of resourcefulness that directly improved survival odds. Modern survivalists can apply this principle by thinking beyond individual needs. Shared knowledge, community preparedness drills, and cooperative resource management not only increase your own odds of survival, but strengthen the collective resilience of those around you. WWI's POW Ingenuity. Secret bartering and resourcefulness in captivity isn't just a story about hardship, it's a blueprint for applied ingenuity under constraint. By studying how prisoners bartered, improvised, networked and adapted, we uncover timeless lessons in resilience, creativity and strategy. If you found this guide valuable, actionable and engaging, subscribe to the channel and share it with fellow history enthusiasts and survivalists. Each story of human ingenuity is a lesson in resourcefulness waiting to be applied, and the more we share, the better prepared we all become.